Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am, this is a couple days after Christmas, 3 days after Christmas to be exact. It is the 28th today, and I'm out at Kleiner Park, and I've had a lot of requests for this, and you don't have to twist my arm too hard because I love to fly. I've got the DJI DeMarco Mini 2 SE. Why is it the DeMarco Mini 2 SE? It's named after my friend DeMarco Moore. I named my drone after DeMarco. But in any case, who cares, right? The Mini 2 SE, I know a lot of people probably got it under the tree for Christmas. I've had a few comments of people saying the original video that I put out on the Mini 2 SE, I don't know, early last year or whenever it was. Yeah, it was early last year. Early in 2023. People said they got confused because sometimes I was talking about the Mini 2, sometimes about the Mini 2 SE. Well, I was comparing the two. In any case, neither here nor there. So this video is going to be all about the Mini 2 SE. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through all of the features and intelligent flight modes, shoot some panoramas, etc., and just kind of give you some basics about the drone. I wouldn't call this a beginner's tutorial, but we're going to go through everything step by step so you can kind of see. Now, I assume if you just got a drone, you know how to connect your mobile device to the RCN1 controller, etc. So I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on that, but we are going to get the drone up in the air and take it for a flight and just show you what this little guy can do. It is an amazing little piece of technology. Its normal price is $339. That's what I paid. Recently, it's been on sale for $299. I don't know if it still is or not, but occasionally DJI puts it on sale. So anyway, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okie dokie. You can see the winter sun is pretty low in the sky. So the max resolution on this drone is 2.7K, 30 frames per second, the video resolution that is. I can click on that and show it to you real quick. So this one shoots in 1080p. If you go in 1080, you can go all the way up to 60 frames per second, but resolution to me is more important, so we're going to shoot in 2.7K, 30 frames per second. I always take a look at the safety menu before I fly. If you're just getting used to flying drones, this is something you should always look at. Now, I always look and make sure that my altitude is set correctly. Max altitude is 120 meters. That's 400 feet. That's max legal. In fact, 120 meters is a little under 400 feet. And I set my distance at no limit. Return to home altitude, 30 meters. That's plenty for where I'm at. That's roughly 100 feet. If you are in an area where you know you have buildings or trees or something that the drone needs to go higher, you move that slider to set that up higher. Home point is fine. Now it's looking at the sensors. It's telling me that the compass is normal and the IMU is normal. You would click that blue calibrate button and you'd follow the on-screen instructions if any of those said that it needed a calibration. I always take a quick look at the battery info and make sure that both cells on the battery are good, and in this case they certainly are. Yeah, I guess that is about it right there. We can look at the camera here real quick. So the other thing I'll tell you that I do is I turn on the histogram. That's that graph that you see on the left-hand side of my screen. You can see where we're overexposed on one side. We're facing right into the sun, so that's no surprise. But what you like on that is to have a mountain in the middle, and then you know your exposure is right. I always typically shoot an automatic and let the drone figure out what it needs to do. Overexposure warning, that next one, it'll give you zebra stripes on the screen to show you the overexposed parts of your screen. I seldom use that sometimes. And in fact, we can turn it on real quick and I can show you what that means. See those zebra stripes where we're way overexposed there? That's what that does. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then grid lines, I have all the grid lines on. I'll turn them off here real quick and show you that. So we have no grid lines on the screen. Go back in, turn them all on, and I've got grid lines. And what that does for you is it just allows you to it helps me frame the shot. So that's why I leave those on. Frame guide I've gone through that on other drones. I'm not going to mess with it now, but it just shows you, it will show you on the screen how you could frame for different things. In other words, you could even go up to vertical shooting mode. That 9x16 at the very bottom is vertical. Well, if I turn it on, well, let's click on that 9x16 and I'll show you what I mean. Get out of here. And you can see that frame guide on the screen shows a 9x16. It frames it in. It doesn't crop your sensor. It just shows you the framing so that if you were trying to frame a shot. So let's go back in that. We want to turn that off. Go back to the top and click on off. And white balance on auto. The storage location, in this case, the micro SD card. It's probably a good idea to format that every time. So I'm going to click Format, Confirm. That formats the video card so that your drone can write to it correctly. Auto sync HD photos and cache when recording, and you set up your video cache at the bottom, and that is a cache that it saves of the recording. I set it to the minimum. That's nothing that I often or very seldom use. So, and if you want to reset everything, you can click Reset Camera Settings down there. So if you're wanting to know what firmware I've got, that'll show you right here. We just did the RC firmware update to allow the RCN1 controller to use a Huawei phone. It tells you my app version. Let's check for updates here. I clicked that blue where it said check for updates. And maybe I didn't click it hard enough. Yeah, your firmware is up to date, it says, so we're good there. Nothing to do now but take off. We are down to 96% battery, so let's start recording. And again, we're shooting in 2.7K and we're facing into the sun, so you're going to see a lot of glare. Now I'm going to do an auto takeoff on the app. So I click on the little up arrow on the left-hand side, hold down that takeoff button, and the drone is going to auto take off. And there you see it taking off in front of us. And it tells us we're in a geo zone nearby, 150 meters. Well, that's above max legal anyway, but in any case, let's turn the drone around. And there are no obstacle avoidance sensors on this drone, so we can bring this guy in really close if we want to without it. It would just run right into us if I hit the control sticks to tell it to. Let's get it close to the camera here so you can see the little drone. Anyway, let me get it down, and I can rock it back and forth, and you can see how that little gimbal holds the camera steady. Back it up and move it forward, and you can see it just holds that camera steady. But let's back it up here a little ways. And one of the things that I typically do is a droney. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the left wheel on the controller. I'm going to drop that camera down a little bit. The gimbal point the camera down a little bit, and I'm going to go reverse and up. I'm going to push up on the left stick and down on the back stick, and we are going to send the drone up behind us. I'm going to hit hard on that up stick because I know I got trees back there, and I want to make sure I'm above them. And we are about 27 meters high, which I know is, from experience, is plenty at this park. And then gradually, whoops, I went too far. I want to get to the rule of thirds. And so, you know, I've got 1/3 sky and then 1/3 foreground and 1/3 middle ground there. And you can see, gosh, they turned on. When I was here earlier, they did not have the fountains turned on. So they just turned them on, and you can see there's a lot of waterfowl, and it's been cold. It's about 40 degrees right now, or in the maybe 41, and you can see the pond is frozen quite a bit. Well, yeah, I see the fountain isn't going on that side, and lots of, I call them seagulls. If you just want to call them gulls, some guy commented, I called them seagulls, and he goes, well, you're not anywhere near the sea. Those are just gulls. Well, I call them seagulls. So anyway, we'll get down. Hopefully they won't fly up and fly into our drone here, but there they are. So first thing we want to look at is the control signal on this drone with the RC N1 controller and OcuSync 2, this drone does quite well. So I know we're faced into the sun here, so this isn't going to be a very good picture. But let's go out into the corner here. We'll go out here to this far corner, and I think that's about 500 meters out there. And you can see that, that we have good, strong FPV feed. FPV stands for first person view, so that's what I see on my iPhone. And by the way, I'm using an iPhone 15 to connect here. So I'm not going to cross the street here, but you can see, and we're kind of looking into the sun. We're out about 650 meters, and we have good, straight, strong signal. And I'm sitting under a picnic shelter, so it's probably blocking my signal somewhat. Hey, what you see there at the top part of the screen, I'm going to pick up the camera just a little bit, and you know what? This guy has got zoom. I think in 2.7K we can only go 2 by zoom, but let's see if we can zoom in here. I'm holding down the function button on the left side of the controller and then using that scroll wheel to zoom in. Oh yeah, it'll take me to 3 times zoom. So what you see there is an In-N-Out burger store that just opened up in Idaho, and boy is it busy. A lot of folks getting their burger on there, so popular place. So that'll show you the zoom. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3 by zoom in 2.7K, and I think in 1080p it'll go up to 4K. And again, that's digital zoom, so it's just cropping in on the sensor. So what that means is your quality will degrade, your video quality will degrade as you zoom in. So let's see, 78%. We got plenty of battery here to mess around. Let's see. I am full throttle in normal mode right now. Let's take a look at speed. We should get up to 10 meters per second. We're at 9.8, there's 10 meters per second. That's top speed in normal. I'm going to flip it into sport mode, holding the controller in front of the camera here, and that's the center slider switch, switching it to the right into sport mode. And then let's go. Yeah, and you saw the camera dip there. That is so the camera doesn't look up at the top of the drone, our speed should go up. Top speed is 16 meters per second, and that's fast for a little mini drone, trust me. 16 meters per second right now. And so I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm not talking about any other drone but the Mini 2 SE, but the Mini 2 SE, as it's going by right above me, screaming by at 16 meters per second, which by the way is about 35 miles an hour, that is the same top speed as you will find on the Mini 2, the Mini 3, the Mini 3 Pro, and the Mini 4 Pro. Again, so there's no confusion, because people got confused on my other video. We're talking about the Mini 2 SE here. So in any case, I'm going to take it out here the other direction to show you that we get just as good of control signal this way as we did going the other way, plus the video looks a little better. In sport mode, it's tough to pick up that, I can't pick up that camera because it'll knock it back down. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and cross this street here. That's U-stick. And let's get it out here a ways. I just want to, this isn't a range test, but I want to show you that this drone is fully capable of getting out there a ways. And yeah, so now it's telling me, yeah, we're out there about a kilometer. There I lost signal. Now, what I'm going to tell you there is, and it's going into auto return to home. When you lose signal, don't worry about that. You're not going to lose your drone. It's going to turn around and it's going to head back to you. So we're out there exactly a kilometer. It says distance 1,001 meters. So we got our signal back, so let's go ahead and turn it around and we'll fly it back towards us and we'll get signal again here. And this isn't going to look as good because we're facing into the sun, but and again, I want to emphasize that I'm you know, I'm under a picnic shelter and stuff here, so I'm saying good old OcuSync 2 is pretty good. And if I was flying higher, I would likely have better signal as well. And as you turn, often it's going to affect the angle of the sensors here. And I got a little bit confused here. There we go. So here, if you ever are worried about flying your way home, you can hit return to home, but if you look down in the bottom left here, you can see where I'm at with the controller, and the drone is the little arrowhead. So I'm just pointing the point of that arrow back towards me, and that drone is flying straight towards me. We'll adjust that vector here just a little bit, and it's coming straight back towards us. So again, pretty tough to lose your drone. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go over quick shots really fast here, because we are down to 48% battery. So I'm going to go back into normal mode, and I am going to demonstrate, dropping the camera down here. We're going to demonstrate some of the quick shots. Let's drop some altitude. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to go click on that little film strip, and I'm going to go into that next one down. Looks like a little film reel that says quick shots, and we have 5 available. We have a droney and a rocket. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with a droney. So you have to create a point of interest, and so that's just drawing a square on the screen. We're going to do a minimum, we don't want to go very far, so the smallest one is 30 meters. So I'm going to click start, and it will count down, and just like I did manually at first, it's going to pull back from that point of interest and do a quick droney. And hopefully we can get through all of these quick shots here before we get too low on battery. Plus I wanted to show you some panoramas too. And I only have 1 battery, so hopefully we'll get through all this. And it's returning, I like this, it will return to its, to where it started. I have a helicopter off in the distance, but he's way away from us. That's another thing that I want to say. It is your job to stay out of the way of manned aircraft. On a beautiful day like today, there's going to be a lot of people out flying. So make sure you got your head on a swivel. Okay, so I'm clicking on that arrow again, and we're going to go to rocket. And yeah, it's asking me, I have to set that point of interest again. And what it's going to do, it's going to fly 30 meters straight up and keep the point of interest in the center of frame. So it's going to count down here. This is kind of a neat one too. You can automate these shots and really get some cool effects. If you're new to flying, you can put together a pretty impressive video just using these quick shots. So I'm keep looking at my battery meter here. The drone's not far from me. I'm not very far from the band shell there, but just want to make sure we got enough battery to get home when we're done here. And again, I do want to take some panoramas. Okay, so again, it will return to its starting place. So you'll note that the drone is exactly positioned at exactly where we started it. So I'm going to click on that up arrow again at the top there, maybe. Well, it's not wanting to do, my touch screen is not working. There we go. And we're going to do a circle flight, or an orbit, as if you want to call it that. I'm making that same point of interest again, and I can set clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm going to go clockwise for this one. We're going to click start, and it'll count down, and it will do 1 orbit. So here's what I want to warn you about on this, and probably the same for the droney. This drone has no obstacle avoidance whatsoever. So it will fly right into an object. It won't know that there is something next to it. So make sure you've got it high enough that it's above trees, it's above buildings, because otherwise it'll fly right into them. It's blind. It doesn't know that there's anything in front of it. So when you're doing these kind of quick shots, make sure the path is clear. I guess that's the warning that I'm giving you. But look at that, it does a perfect orbit. which can be done with the sticks, but particularly when you're first starting out, this is a good way to do it. You can get some good dramatic shots. Okay, so let's go into the next one. This is one of my favorite, the Helix, and I'm going to do that point of interest again, draw that square box, and again, well, let's go counterclockwise on this one and click Start. And what it's going to do now, the drone is going to do a counterclockwise rotation, but while it's doing it, it is going to move up and away from the point of interest. Basically, it'll do a big corkscrew in the sky. So I just think that's a really cool effect, and yeah, looks really good. Again, I'm staring at that battery meter because I want to make sure I have enough battery power to do some panoramas for you. But this one is going to take a little bit of battery power because it's a little more extensive as the drone flies up and away. We're only 50% through here. But you can see how dramatic that is. If you've got a point of interest, it's staying right in the center of frame, and the drone is moving up and away and orbiting at the same time. Now you saw a little lens flare there for a second. Even the most expensive cameras will do that. Yeah, just then again there, facing towards the sun, we got a little glare on the camera. So again, it's moving back to its starting spot. And then last but not least, we got one more quick shot for you. As soon as it gets back here, we're there. So we're going to click on that corkscrew, and we're going to go to the last one, which is called a boomerang. And basically, this looks more dramatic if you're down lower, but I don't have time to do that right now. So let's see, did I get that? No, subject lost. There we go, and we're going to go clockwise, start, and it's going to do an oblong is what it's going to do, and it's going to raise in altitude and then lower back down in altitude as it comes back. So it's just kind of doing an oblong circle. So kind of a peanut, really, I guess. We're down to 21% battery. It's making me wonder if I'm going to have time to get some panoramas in here. Yeah, it's telling me low battery, return to home promptly. Well, that's at 20%. I wish there was a way to shut off that alarm. To my knowledge, there isn't, so we're just going to have to put up with that. But you can see this boomerang, and now it'll come back down and lower in altitude and come back to its original spot. Now, if you look at the battery meter, I can show you that while we're doing it here too. I'm clicking on that battery meter. It'll tell you exactly how long until the battery's depleted and until forced landing, etc. We've got 1 minute until forced return to home. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to show you that on the battery meter. And there we are, complete. And so let's go back in. We want to start recording again. And boy, I wish the drone would shut up. That's something DJI does. There's no way that I know of to shut that off. But anyway, so we're going to fly this back towards us. And I'm right at that picnic shelter down there. But what I want to do, what I want to show you is some panoramas. So again, we're going to stop recording. I'm going to go click on that film strip again. And we're going to go at the bottom, pano there. And we're not going to do a sphere. That would do a sphere, but I'm going to show you a 180, start. And it's going to take, I can't remember how many pictures here, but the cool thing about this drone is it will stitch them all together for you. And I'm canceling that auto return to home so we can finish this. You saw that on the screen there. I canceled that. And then we're going to do another sphere, another wide angle here. So let's start that one. And once we're done taking these pictures, I will show you those panos here one at a time. Okay, that is done, and so I'll show you the 180 and then the wide angle. This is the 180 right here. It's a 180-degree view, just as it says. And the next one is a wide angle Looks darn good to me. Pretty cool that they include that feature on the drone. Let's go back to video, start video, and I'm gonna back the drone off, and we're gonna hit return to home. We got 11% battery, so we're not far away, but I'm gonna hit return to home on the controller, holding that button down, and it'll rise to its return to home height, as you'll recall, which is 30 meters. And then I'm lowering the camera down here. This drone does not have what they call precision landing, but it should get pretty close here. And we'll see. Critically low battery, it says. So we can either let the drone, I don't know, it's going to be pretty darn close to the landing pad here, but I'll probably stop it and land it manually if we need to. I don't know, it's coming closer to the edge of the pavement there. If it's on the pavement, I'll just let it land. Okay, it's not going to be, so I'm going to hit the pause button. So what I did is I hit the pause button. I'm going to drop that camera down so we can see where the drone is at. I'm going to move it forward, and it's really squawking now. It's down to 6%. It says, man, I want to land. So we're going to move it over the landing pad, move her forward just a little bit. Let me pick that camera back up, and we're going to drop it into landing mode by holding that left stick straight down, and that'll put the drone in landing mode. And you'll see that on the screen. Well, yeah, low battery landing, it said, but there we are on the pad. So we can confirm where it says low battery landing. We landed with 5% battery, so that's pretty good. I don't know exactly how long we were in the air there, but again, this battery, I had it fully charged, but it had an update for the controller. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Oh, one thing more I want to mention to you is always stop recording before you shut off the power on the drone. That way you won't corrupt a file. It will, if you don't stop recording before you turn off the drone, sometimes it will not close out the video file and you'll have a corrupt file. Hey, okay, the DJI Mini 2 SE, what a phenomenal little $300 drone. We went through everything there with one battery and even did a firmware update for the controller. We got through everything there. Well, we didn't do a sphere pano. And a sphere is a little different. You have to stitch that together in post-production. But the other two panos, the drone, the app software will stitch those together for you. Yeah, we tried out all the quick shots, and we took the drone out there a kilometer before we kind of ran out of signal. Behind me back here, I'm under this picnic shelter kind of blocking signal, and it still got out a kilometer. And you saw the tremendous video quality of this little guy. There's just, I don't know, I can't say enough good about the Mini 2 SE. It's just a fun drone to fly. Plus it's fast. You saw we were going we went 16 meters per second. That's about 35, 36 miles an hour. That's pretty darn good. So that's as fast as any other mini drone. That's what I'm telling you. So that's pretty good. I hope that you got some value out of this, and if you just got a Mini 2 SE, let me tell you, you did well, and you're going to have a lot of fun with your little drone. So I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out, and if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and of course, we'll see you on the next one. And yeah, if you want to look at my Mini 2 SE playlist, you'll find a lot of videos with this little drone. So anyway, see you guys later. Bye.